Woof, woof. Oh my God, there's a wasp nest in there, look out. Welcome Disc Golf World. This is day 9 of Vlogmas 2023. I'm Connor O'Reilly with Team Lone Star Disc and Team OTB Discs, and today we find ourselves back in North Austin, this time at Northtown Park. I haven't played this course in a number of years, but I know it was featured recently in the DGC tournament. It's a fun one, good mix of shots here, some open, some partially wooded. And I just want to thank everybody who has been watching Vlogmas up to this point, or even if you're just joining us today, welcome. Day 10 will be our third big giveaway of Vlogmas, so you don't want to miss out on tomorrow's round, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't watch today's round too. Let's get to the action. On a course that's relatively on the shorter side, some eagleable par 4s and 5s for me, not too many super long par 3s. Hole 1's always kind of confused me. It's 585 feet dead straight ahead, really nothing in the way until you get to that row of planted trees out there. I don't know, I just not really understanding the par to the length here. If you know the course designer, or if you know the reasoning behind why this hole is what it is, let me know in the comments. I'm gonna go full send roller here on hole 1. Grass is kind of medium length, so let's see how much distance it lets me get. Going tumbleweed. Ow, I rolled my ankle. I forgot to mention that one on the right is out of bounds. I just totally rolled my ankle on the end of this tee box. Well, I brought the rangefinder today, you guys. No more guesswork. Sorry if that last shot was kind of hard to view. My lovely camera lady Megan was trying to make sure that I was okay, and you know, the shot took the back seat, and that's fine. Almost pin high though over here, even with the ankle roll. I think it's important to note that if you are building a course and you have the ability to fill in the areas around your tees, make sure they're level. I think it's really important just for the safety of the players, for the commitment on those tee shots. I didn't even really think about that little 2 to 3 inch ledge in front of the tee being an issue here because it feels pretty flat, but apparently it got me. So. Long putt with the blue bonnet. Try to send it. Man, give it about 2 more feet of height. Might have got that swing back. Customary par here on hole 1. Feels kind of like a birdie / eagle combo when you get the 2. When you're on the tee of hole 2, don't look at either of the distance suggestions, the 77 yards or the 251 feet, because it's actually 335 feet. This one lines up for that right hand forehand extremely well. Kind of low ceiling created by the tree canopy. This right side's essentially blocked by all the trunks. So you got to play a forehand out, get that skip back to the right, and then it's a little protected green area, so you want to put this one close. All right, let's see how that left ankle feels on the plant here. Going forehand with my stable Warbird. This one's in the alpha plastic. Really been my main driver so far. Loving it out the hand. Can I get the skip? Yeah, there's a gentle little skip. We're putting. Could have maybe gone Seguin for a heavier finish, but I felt pretty good about that one. I think this right to left wind is what I didn't calculate. It probably held my disc over just a few more feet. Just inside the circle for birdie on hole 2. I don't know exactly the make and model of these baskets. Some kind of mock series, I believe. They have the single ring, kind of light on the chain, so you have to be touchy on these baskets. There it is. Even in a little bit of headwind, I can always trust that the blue bonnet is gonna have a healthy finish. And you know, with certain plastics, I might have to change my pace, slow down on these baskets, but I feel so good about the grippiness of these that I'm just gonna commit, try to keep my same pace all day. See how it works. Hole 3 is a similar distance par 3 to the previous one, 330 feet. You have this straight ahead gap that's very technical. And if you have the power, there's also a big high forehand or lefty backhand, as well as the big high righty backhand off here on the right that you're gonna have to fly over the dog park. So it's a little bit of a risk, but for me, it's just a lot easier to crash over the top on this type of distance than it is to hit this gap over and over. I'm liking the Seguin on this shot. There is out of bounds at the path and right here, as well as there's a water down to the left, maybe about 45 feet left of the basket. So gotta watch out for those. touch of wind off the right today, so I'm gonna have to make sure to release this flat or even a little bit of force and hyzer, and then I know I did my job. Wow, even with that Annie well off to the right, that thing faded back to circle one. What an impressively overstable distance driver. Deep, putting back, circle's edge. Man, that putt felt somewhat right out of the hand, but I mean, I sound like a broken record telling you guys about the dependable fade of the Bluebonnet, but it's just the truth. I'm just spitting it honest to you guys. Hole 4 is a very challenging par 3, especially with this new mandatory addition that wasn't there the last time I played here, keeping you away from that next tee box. It does create a more safe environment for that tee, but I think it really hurt this hole a bit. It's a little too skinny now to be truly repeatable. You still have this right side skinny backhand hyzer that I think I have to take now, since this tree really gets in the way, this tree off the tee gets in the way of kind of throwing that skinny forehand out left. That used to be the preferred line here. So I'm gonna go horny toad, really try to thread the gap, use that hard fade at the end on it. Creek out of bounds on the right side, and wrapping behind the basket. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm sure many of you guys have thrown a tee shot like that on this hole, so I'll join the club. Not a lot of great options here. I have this left side, which is my biggest gap, but then I have to put a right foot on the disc, kind of do that ultimate straddle out stance. So I'm gonna go with my gnome here on the right side and just try to shave a tree gap. Wow. Just like the garden gnome, I got tiny and skinny through that little gap. Hee hee. I'm not gonna lie, it really kind of saddens me to see this hole just kind of here, not really playing very good. I'm gonna challenge everyone who has any say on this course or who puts in some work up here at Northtown or just puts in a good word. We should redesign this one. I mean, if you don't want to cut any trees down, then we probably need to just pull to a different area of the course, pick a new spot. But there is some stuff you could do here. You have to lose a couple trees. I understand avoiding this next tee, but to me, this hole right now is just it's not playing good. I'm just gonna be honest. Hole 5 is a 336-foot par 3. This one really plays to the forehand once again. Backhand turnover runs into that late low ceiling. That's gonna really gobble you up for that last 100 feet. I'm liking the Warbird once again. Similar shot to hole 2's drive, so you can kind of pick your same disc, almost play the same shape. Warbird forehand, see how much skip we can get. And we do have that creek looming on the left still. Wow, heavy on the hyzer, big jump down to the right. I hope I'm dry. Fortunately, I found this flat spot down here on the right side. Unfortunately, there's not a good look at birdie. Try to go forehand putt with the gnome. It made me a believer. How about y'all? Now to say sorry, cause we butchered hole 4 and it's awful. You're welcome. Hole 6 is a very specific par 3. Not a lot of shot variety that you can choose here. It really chooses it for you. There are some kind of over the top routes, or if you have a big tomahawk or thumber, this hole will get significantly easier, but if you're choosing this gap up the middle, it is a bit of a low ceiling, so even at 228, I'm gonna bump up to that mid-range, go with the Texas Ranger, try to put it close. We are playing into a little bit of headwind too. I was back and forth between the penny putter and this, but with the low ceiling, with the headwind, I think you should bump up. Oh my gosh. A little bit of slippage on this muddy tee. Well, for as poor as it felt, it's a look. Yeah, just nothing on it. Instead of dwelling on this hole, I'm just gonna forgive, and move on. Hole 7's a par 4, not the longest, under 600 feet, but it does have a lot of danger. This right side creates almost a natural out of bounds line, just a thick row of trees all the way up. And as you get down there towards the green, there is that walking path coming back into play on the left side. This last quadrant of the tee is really slick, so I'm not even gonna bother it. I'm gonna sacrifice that meter of distance and throw from kind of midway back here. I think it's always important to assess your tee so you don't slip like I did in the last one and let an easy stroke slip away from you. I'm going with my straighter warbird, looking for that hyzer flip. Oh yeah, I haven't thrown that one hyzer flip yet. I keep trying to go flat bomber shots, and I had a feeling it was gonna be money for that type of shot. It truly is. I opted to get on a knee here because any shot where I feel or I know I can hit my hand on something, I find a hard time committing to, especially when it's not a high pressure scenario. You know, much as I want to perform for you guys for Vlogmas, obviously just getting through the next season is much more important. Yeah, really a ton of trees on this approach. You kind of got to throw a good shot and get lucky here. So long look at bird. A little more pop, a little more pop. Settling for par here. Hole 8 is a short one, the shortest one yet, 180 feet, but it does have a lot of trouble. This right side path is out of bounds, and then the water is only about bullseye's edge long that you gotta avoid being wet, otherwise you are out of bounds. I do gotta give big props to Colton Lawless, a young member of Team Lone Star Disc and a very promising player. He aced this hole en route to taking down the MA2 championship at NADGT this year, I believe in the final round. I wanna say he went Benny or penny putter here. So you know what, Colt? I gotta try to match you. I'm trying to decide what disc I want. It's a hard call. I'm settling on the Blue Bonnet because I like its dependable fade and this V1 plastic. If I do miss, we'll hopefully grip the ground quick. Drop quick, drop quick, drop quick. Hey, listen to me. Long C1 look here, maybe C2 even, hard to tell. No, probably C1. There it is. As you can see, Megan grabbed the easy CTP on me there, but fortunately, I know how to make a putt. So I've been curious kind of about the level of animal activity or fish life in this creek. But as we were on the tee, we saw a huge blue heron flying along this little creek here. And I believe he's right up here hanging out. Let's go say hi. Oh crikey, y'all, there he goes. It's a large one, you see him? Sorry, buddy. You could have stayed, we love you. We love you. Where you going? I kind of forgot how many head scratchers there were out here at Northtown, and we're on hole 9. It's definitely one of them. Par 4, 504 feet. You can see the basket across the creek well over there. Not really any great options off the tee. The forehand roller down this right side truly is the best option on this hole, unless you want to throw like a 100-foot pitch out and go from there. There's also some good over the top options if you have it, but I think forehand roller warbird is mathing for me as the best shot. Adding up. Yeah, and just get super lucky, nick a tree. Oh, catch another. You know, halfway there, we'll take it. Very low ceiling on this approach. There's that creek to try to get over, and just really a wall of trees over there on the left that I'm gonna have to pretty much just throw it at and hope and pray that I get through. Going Alpha Chupacabra here, just put this one in the bag, got it at Big Money Skins last season. been sitting on this bad boy. First throw. Should bring the beef. Holy goodness, it did. You know what? I got an open shot to the basket. We'll have to take par here on 9. Well, 2 shots still leaves us 100 plus feet out. We're gonna test out that armadillo again. I'm gonna go to the forehand, try to release it on some hyzer. Pretty dead flat on that release, and it really held the angle. It's a useful disc, very slow. You know it's not gonna blow past the basket unless you really juice it. And you know, being from Texas, we all love our armadillos. A little high and firm. I was kind of worried that the basket was gonna just pop me back out. These ones aren't always the most friendly. But able to scramble up for par here on hole 9. Who designed this hole? We're on to the back 9 at Northtown Park. Starting with a par 3, hole 10 has 2 options. The right side is more specific with a low ceiling, very narrow. There are some forehand gaps to the left or a left-hand backhand shot. I'm gonna test out my Frio. Haven't thrown this one a ton, but I really like the shape of it and the feel of it in the hand. Should be a good option for a straight shot like this. Beat it. Oh no. Kick back. Kicked off right into the abyss. Let's see if it's safe. A little more room than I anticipated off to the right, to my fortune, but also to my misfortune. There's just not much from here. I'm gonna go to the hammer jammer over the top of the head, upside down. Feels like the only option I have, to be real. Wow, and that little hand branch just gobbling the shots up from here. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I'm feeling very starved for birdies right now on this course. So hopefully I can find a rhythm here on the back. Hole 11 is our first, and I believe only par 5 on the course. It is sub 500 feet, so very scoreable, especially for the eagle. There used to be more of an over the top line that I remember taking, but now up the gut is kind of the best option. We once again have the out of bounds path on the left and the water line on the right. It's kind of the theme on this course. But even though it's hairy up top, I'm still gonna go over with the warbird, flex it high, let it fight back. We do have some right to left wind that should at the end swing the fade back pretty hard. Oh, I really like that. Should come back as long as I clear the top of the trees. Yeah, right in the middle down there. Should be a close approach. Maybe sub 100 feet in here for the albatross. Going gnome. Fade hard. Hit the pole. Does that mean I get a 2.5 here? I said I needed some birdies, and I guess the course gave me the big one. Eagle, let's get it. Even though, you know, it really feels like a birdie to me. Wouldn't call it a par 5 for myself. We didn't showcase it, but there is an 11B here, an alternative tee that's showing a 350-foot shot for the more beginner player. They still call it a par 5, so, you know, what's above an albatross? Double eagle, right? Y'all tell me in the comments. We're on hole 12A. There's another shorter pin off to, or tee off to the right that we're not gonna show, but offers a little bit less distance to cross on the water here. And I'd argue this is a signature hole out here at Northtown. Very memorable, one of the few pond holes that you have, and it's right there waiting for the ace. In Abe we trust. Y'all know the drill. I mean, does it get any more buttery soft touch than that? Can confirm they have juicy bass in the pond. Easy. I tricked all you guys, I know it. This other disc was Megan's. She aced it. No, I'm just kidding. She did throw it from the shorter box, played a nice straight shot with the Benny, got some tree love, and she put it arguably as close as I did. Pretty sweet. I ain't giving you that. Hole 13's rather wide open. You just have this big post on the right to avoid if you want to choose that right-hand backhand shot or the left-hand forehand. But if you're a lefty, I don't see why you would do that unless you just hate backhand. And you know what? Since we do want to entertain, we're going to showcase that penny putter on a turning shot. I did think about this before I threw the forehand. I just knew the forehand was kind of a no-nonsense play here. But it's not nonsense when you just find chains off the tee. Never. Shape was okay, you know, a little wider, might have had a chance. A little scary coming into these chains with premium plastic. Would not recommend. I would recommend scoring a birdie here, but really, just give it an ace. Who cares if you go in the water? Hole 14 is another one of those memorable ones for me. 330 feet, you have a pond on the right side to avoid, and then a pretty steep slope on the green, drawing from the left to the right, that will lead you down to that pond if you miss or come in with an improper angle. I think there is also that walking path well left that shouldn't really come into play, but you know, if you really shank it, it can. I'm going midi here. Make sure to keep my hyzer integrity and let the disc showcase its stability. Thanks again to Terry for giving me this out of his collection. So beautiful. Come on, I feel great about this one. Drop. Line was there, no more speed. All right, bit of a deathy putt, you know, roll away to the water. Basket's also leaning away from me. No problem for the blue bonnet though, let's be real. Always nice to nab a birdie here on 14. You know, we don't always love graffiti on the course, but whoever kept this tee sign alive, we appreciate you guys. 205 feet, water long out of bounds, as well as kind of wrapped on the right side here. There's really only one option down this tunnel on the right. Big skip back to the left. Should be a great job for the Chupacabra. I'm gonna go fan grip, just make sure to get it to the ground, and it should give me that dependable flare skip that you see every time out of the Chupacabra. Massive. Now again, roll. Approved. Up close and personal here on 15, just the way you want it to be. Not the longest, but you gotta get some ground play. We've got 3 holes left for day 9 of Vlogmas at Northtown Park. Hole 16 is gonna crisscross the creek once here and then once again just in front of the basket. Tucked on the left, just out of view there, you can maybe see the right side. Perfect for the small backhand flex shot. I'm gonna go blue bonnet. Even though it's a rounded edge putter, in this V1 plastic, has significant integrity at the end. Wow. As you can see, this basket is extremely guarded. Almost gonna have to go with the ricochet. See if we can stick it. Watch out. You know, I feel like there must be a no cutting trees policy out here in this design, because I really haven't seen 6 trees and 7 trees inside the bullseye, maybe ever. The hole's short enough though, so you should do your work off the drive. Put it close, put it in front so you will have open putting lane, because anything pin high or deep, good luck. Hole 17 is 327 feet. You got the water line about circle's edge long, and a pretty open lane here for the stand-up hyzer on a backhand for the right-hand player. I'm going to that midi. Should be about the perfect distance for this disc. Give me some fade. I got a touch flat on that one, but it showed the integrity that it has at the end. Found myself circle one's edge. Ended up being a pretty good, well into circle one look for the birdie there. Midi, blue bonnet. That was the combo. Our final hole out here at Northtown is gonna be a short par 4, 357 feet. Really only one gap to take, and it snakes first straight, a little bit of bend in the middle, and then you gotta finish out. Lines up for the right hand, backhand if you wanna go like super understable hyzer that flips late, or if you like the forehand, you can flex it over out of the hand, have it come out. I'm gonna go warbird. Albatrace is always on the table on this hole. So I'm just gonna commit and try to prioritize the gap, let the rest happen. Dang, for a second, if it held, I thought I might actually have called out that albatrace. That'd be a pretty cool first ace of Vlogmas. Even though to me, this is just kind of a challenging par 3. It appears we have another wildlife sighting, red-shouldered hawk. One of Texas's slightly smaller hawks, a little smaller than the red-tailed hawk. What a beautiful specimen. Northtown providing some nature today. We love it. Able to finish out in day 9 of Vlogmas with another big bird. That's an eagle, y'all. Or is it? Who knows? Doesn't really matter. Either way, 2's great here on the hole 18. And Northtown Park offers a lot of variety of shots. It's in a good central location up here on the north side that accessible to a lot of players. And you know, one of those rainy days where the courses around are kind of unplayable, but you still want to get some field work in. There's a nice pavilion over here, covered roof, so you can throw from the cover of the pavilion, run out with your umbrella, get your discs, wipe them off, whatnot. So good training ground. Regardless of if some of the holes could be tweaked to be optimized out here, I think it's still a course worth playing on the north side of Austin. This has been Vlogmas Day 9. I'm Connor O'Reilly with Team Lone Star Disc and Team OTB Discs. And I want to thank Megan for helping make all this possible with her camera work. She's really great at tracking the disc. She's been helping knock out the editing too. We've been really grinding this Vlogmas to get this stuff prepared for you guys and to try to entertain as always. And hit that Lone Star website. If there's any discs you see me throwing, they're like, man, I kind of want to try that out. Go do it now, or get one and gift it to your friend. Tomorrow will be day 10, meaning the 3rd massive giveaway of this Vlogmas, so you won't want to miss out.